There are a lot of reports that Diddy isn't exactly living his best life behind bars. He's been hit with some major charges, and now it looks like he's getting it handed to him in a place where money can't exactly save him.
Been 1 week since the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy is now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as hell on earth.
The Metropolitan Detention Center is not a place that anyone would want to be in for a second, especially someone with Diddy's kind of wealth. Imagine going from private jets and luxury suites to prison food, a concrete cell, and absolutely zero VIP treatment. Oh, let's not forget that he's also going to have to share the room with cockroaches.
I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and I believe inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit.
Calling it inhumane isn't a stretch because people locked up in MDC complain about violent fighting, dirty living areas, not enough staff, and workers helping with illegal things like drug smuggling and other banned items. Sometimes prison guards impose frequent lockdowns and restrictions on things like visits, calls, showers, and exercise if they think it's the safer option. In addition to all these, the building has also dealt with problems like a week-long power outage that once left the inmates freezing in the cold without any heat supply. People have also criticized the way the prison handled matters during the lockdown. Apparently, the inmates did not feel protected at all. What's worse is that in June 2020, an inmate, Jamel Floyd, lost his life after being pepper sprayed by correctional officers. His family sued the federal government over his death, but nothing significant was done. It's so bad that former inmates have nothing nice to say about the place.
It's terrible. The food is terrible. Of course, the inmates are terrible. The guards are terrible. The conditions are terrible. It's just terrible.
It turns out that Diddy may be getting the prison version of a VIP treatment. Because he is a high-profile defendant, he could sometimes receive special protection, especially if a fight breaks out. In fact, he is reportedly in a section of MDC Brooklyn for detainees who require special protection. Well, I guess nobody wants the Jeffrey Epstein situation to repeat itself. Who knew that being a celebrity wouldn't just get you free stuff, it'll also get you a special cell in jail? Diddy is not the only famous person who has been to MDC. Other celebrities who have been through MDC's doors include R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, Michael Cohen, and Fetty Wap. Speaking of which, Diddy bagged an equally popular roommate.
So P. Diddy and SBF are sharing the same cell in a Brooklyn jail? What a mouthful that is, huh? This is like the Joker and the Riddler sharing a cell at Arkham Asylum in Gotham.
According to local media reports, he is sharing a dormitory-style room with Sam Bankman-Fried, who once ran a company worth billions. I mean, if you think Diddy was rich, then Sam was swimming in a pool of cash. At some point, this man was ranked the 41st richest American in the Forbes 400 with a personal net worth once exceeding $26 billion. He is known for running one of the biggest financial frauds in the world by misappropriating billions of dollars of customer funds from FTX and transferring them to his private trading firm. His company went bankrupt, and in March 2024, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison and ordered to pay $11 billion. These two make quite the pair. One's crime is trying to scam people for money, while the other is fooling the public into believing that he had a squeaky clean image. Let's remember that Diddy has been held at a federal jail in Brooklyn since his September 16th arrest on charges that he used his power and prestige as a music star to convince both men and women victims into drugged up performances that he called freak-offs. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges, but it turns out that the prosecutors have a big case built against him with a lot of victims ready to come forward as witnesses. We're talking 120 people.
As I said, our law firms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs.
It's pretty serious stuff, and if convicted, Diddy could be looking at 15 years to life in prison. But that's not what the rapper is worried about. It turns out that the hardest part of this jail gig for Diddy isn't the lack of VIP treatment or the dangers he may be facing in prison, it's the food. According to his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's really struggling with the prison menu, which apparently offers heart-healthy and no-meat options. And forget 5-star courses, even the commissary where inmates can buy food has sad offerings like tuna, honey buns, spam, and protein bars. Quite a change for someone used to dining at New York City's finest. But what did he expect? It's a prison, not a vacation home. Let's be honest, Diddy should probably get used to the food, because it doesn't look like he'll get out easy.
Talking about that, Combs, by the way, had offered a $50 million million bail package, putting up his Miami home and his mother's home as collateral. He promised to stay in close contact with authorities, only speak to certain people.
Diddy's bail situation has been anything but smooth, even with his very attractive bail package. His legal team has tried not once, not twice, by 2 different judges, each citing some serious reasons why he should remain in jail. Judge Robin Tarnowski was the first to say no way to his release. She raised red flags over alleged violent behavior, potential witness tampering, and that, let's say, complicated history with controlled substances. Judge Andrew Carter came next and wasn't budging either, even with Diddy's offer to add 24/7 monitoring at his mansion in Florida. According to Carter, the risk of witness intimidation and obstruction was just too real. The truth is that this case has gathered too much publicity and no one wants to mess it up. These judges could have their entire careers destroyed if they let Diddy go and he decides to flee. With the kind of money the music mogul has, it is possible.
Were you surprised to see that this judge has decided to now deny bail for the second time for Diddy?
No one is surprised that Diddy's bail has not been granted, except maybe Diddy himself. He just refuses to give up on his mission to get out of jail. He even took some advice from his prison roomie and hired Sam's attorney, Alexandra Shapiro. So far, she has been proving to be worth every penny he is spending. For the 3rd round of seeking bail, Diddy's legal team, led by lawyers Alexandra Shapiro and Anthony Rico, recently submitted an appeal. They argued that their client, despite the untested allegations, posed no threat if released with strict conditions. They insisted the court had denied a sufficient bail package and argued that keeping him locked up violated the Bail Reform Act, which encourages bail whenever feasible. It seems like they're bringing out the big guns and taking a new approach. Rather than make their bail offer juicier, they're basically going with a sort of "you're wrong for not accepting this offer" vibe, which is different from what they did the last 2 times. It's not shocking that these 2 have switched things up. The judge was also changed to Aaron Subramanian, and they're hoping he will see things their way. Alexandra and Anthony bring some serious clout to the team, but with the nature of his charges and concerns about his past behavior, they have their work cut out for them in convincing the courts otherwise. But at least now they have a date set up.
Hey, Todd and Carly, so May 5th, 2025, that is the day Sean Diddy Combs' trial is expected to begin. And according to those inside the federal courtroom yesterday, Combs was all smiles.
So Diddy's trial date is officially locked for May 5th, 2025. That's when he'll be facing some serious charges, with the big one being trafficking. Now, if things go south for him in court, he could be looking at decades in prison. But Diddy is not fazed at all. During the last hearing, Diddy showed up in shackles but didn't skip the theatrics, flashing smiles, waving, and even blowing kisses to his family who showed up in support, including his mom and some of his kids.
His family members were in the courtroom, his mother and most of his children. He had waved to them, blew a kiss to his mother, and one of his sons had raised and flexed his arm, his bicep, as though to show a sign of strength.
For some bizarre reason, Diddy is super confident that he will not be spending the rest of his life in prison. It's okay to smile and blow kisses at your family members because you missed them, but there's a certain confidence that comes with smiling throughout the entire court proceedings. It's almost like he knows something that we do not know. One thing we can't deny, though, is how much support Diddy's family has shown him. Reports say that his kids have been to jail to visit him, and his mother even recently released a statement to defend him. Janice Combs described his current situation as nothing short of a public lynching, claiming he's been unfairly judged and villainized by both the media and the public without the full story being heard. Her statement, which she released through her lawyers, says that she is heartbroken over watching her son's life crumble because of these allegations. It's clear she believes that people have jumped to conclusions based on lies and misconceptions, many of which she says are motivated by financial gain rather than a search for justice. It was only a matter of time before one of his family members decided to go public, and Janice had always been very close to Diddy. In fact, he once admitted that he was a mama's boy.
I love you. Love you too.
Does this video seem weird to you, or do fully grown men kiss their mothers on the lips like this? In Janice's defense of Diddy, she acknowledged that he had made mistakes, but insisted he's not the monster he's been painted as. In her eyes, he's deserving of a chance to tell his story and clear his name. And she's not just blaming the press and social media, she's also pointing fingers at the federal government, which she accused of taking advantage of old allegations and settlements as part of their case case against him. Excuse me, old allegations? It's strange how even the video of Diddy assaulting Cassie is being simply called an old allegation. Yes, it happened in 2016 and Cassie agreed to an out-of-court settlement back in December 2023. But it's not weird for the public to judge Diddy. Let's be honest, it is a very shocking video and not everyone can just sweep it under the rug and call it the past. Remember, Diddy even denied the allegations of abuse, but when the video came out, he quickly did a 180 and apologized. No matter how much his team tries to make it seem like everything happened in the past, the public only saw the true side of Diddy this year, so it's very fresh in our minds. Let's not forget, that may not be the most shocking thing we'll see. Diddy has been accused of so much more, and maybe we'll get other video leaks just like the Cassie video. Prosecutors hinted that they're still digging and could slap even more charges on Diddy as this investigation rolls on. They mentioned having seized almost 110 electronic devices packed with data they're still combing through. Diddy's legal team wasn't having it with the online circus, saying it's all fun and games on social media, but they're here to handle serious consequences. Translation: the stakes are high, and things are only going to heat up as we get closer to that trial date. His other attorney tried to paint a picture of Diddy adjusting and getting stronger through this ordeal. But let's be real, nobody loves jail, especially when it's the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Now here's the big question. Do you think Diddy's team's argument about untested allegations and strict conditions will get him a ticket out of jail? Or are the judges right to keep him exactly where he is? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below.